In today's video, we're going to work on the fifth and last stage of Sidney Poitier's portrait made in charcoal pencils, which is going to be the facial features. This is the fifth and final stage where we're going to complete this portrait. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Julieta. I am so glad you're here and I hope you get to learn a lot from these videos. So you might wonder, it's kind of similar, facial features, kind of similar to videos 1 and 2 where we covered the basic outlines and the skin texture. The difference here is that we are focusing straight into very specific details of the face because we have everything already done. And we are going to do all the lights and darks, all the contrast. We're going to focus on the smallest pores, the smallest little wrinkles, all those little things that you want in order to achieve a realistic looking portrait. So I hope you guys enjoy and thank you so much for joining me today. Just to get right to our work, I will begin by telling you what are the tools you're going to need for this stage of our portrait. The first thing, you're going to need, which is very important, is going to be our little friend right here, which is the sandpaper. And this is charcoal powder that I obtained by previously just scratching a little bit of a soft charcoal stick. And this is the charcoal stick that I used. It's wonderful. It's really, really good. If you guys want to know the name, the brand name, ask me in your comments below. Right now I don't have it on the top of my head, but it has to be soft. That's important because it's the type of texture that allows it to create charcoal powder. Then we're going to use a brush. Flat brush is really good because it helps you with edges and even with general areas. And a very important tool we're going to need that has to be present for textures such as you see over here, it's going to be the Monozero Eraser, Tombow. It's such a wonderful tool. So basically what I'm going to teach you how to do is not going to take too long. It's what you see here. Do you see these details right here on the left side of the paper, which is the right side of his face? This was all done with this eraser. And previous to that, we applied a layer of charcoal powder. So let's go right to it. As you can see, I already applied a lot of charcoal here to give it nice shades of gray. What I will do, I'm just for showing you, just for purposes of showing you, is I'm going to take a brush, kind of like this. I don't know if you can, it's a flat, number 8, that's the number. And I'm going to take some of this charcoal powder, and like I explained in previous videos, don't oversaturate it and put it straight on the paper, especially in areas that don't mean to be like super dark, because it will take you a while to get rid of that. So I'm just going to test it first in the area of the hair, because the hair obviously is going to be a little bit darker. So yeah, that's a little bit dark, but that's kind of the shade that I want. What I'm going to do, I'm just here in the temples, I will make it just a little bit darker, because you see how the bone of the skull, like here in this area of the temple, is a little bit, dips a little bit more than the rest of the forehead. That's why we're making it a little darker right here. But it's important also to notice that it's always a good idea to start with a uniform layer of charcoal. By that I mean that you gotta start, with the same uniform shade of gray, and from there you can get deeper as you need. It's important for all these processes to take your time. Don't rush through it, because the key for a successful portrait is very, very close observation. And you can always fix mistakes, but it just takes longer when it's in areas that, especially when it comes to shading. So this is kind of good. I showed you before, like in the first video, I believe, or throughout all the others, how to do all of that. And I just showed you again a little example. So now let's get to the use of our eraser right here. I have a little bit of parchment paper, because it's a super cheap alternative to actual tracing paper that you actually want to keep for situations where you have to trace something, or other things like art supplies per se that are a little expensive. Sometimes you can get away with household items such as parchment paper that fulfills the job perfectly, beautifully. And that's just one example of many. But if you are interested in knowing what household items can work beautifully for this type of charcoal portrait, ask me and I will tell you. You're going to be amazed. Like things that you actually already have in your house that for the equivalent at an art store, they're going to charge you a fortune, but you happen to have it at your house. So why would you pay more? Anyway, let's get to our point right here. So we're going to begin. See what I'm doing? I don't know if you can see there. I'm going to start right here so you can see a little bit better. So these are texture. This is texture from the skin. As you can see, I'm very slowly but surely making all these wonderful dots or marks with the eraser that are the little secrets and the little things that make everything happen. It's important to notice that these, even though they seem to be random, they are not. These pores do follow a pattern. When you look at a face, if you look closely, you're going to see that they kind of follow a pattern, or they follow lines from the face. Sometimes, in very similar direction. But the challenge comes in not making it look like a perfect geometrical thing, because that's never the case with human faces. So your challenge lies in knowing where the fine line is. And at first, we all make a lot of mistakes. I don't even do perfect work right now. I'm always constantly learning. But the things that I have learned and I notice that work for me, that's what I'm trying to share with you guys right now. Can you see what I'm doing right now? Now I'm actually not just making little dots, but I'm actually going like this. Why? Because this is where the source of light falls on the face. So you're going to have bigger, lighter areas in some sections of the face because of the light source. And we're going to do a few more, and I'm not just making them up, I'm actually following the reference picture. Once everything is done, I will put them side by side. I'm going to have a whole bunch of pictures for you to see. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, just feel free to ask. The main purpose of this video, like I said at the beginning, since I want to make them sort of, short and to the point and not beyond 11, 12-minute mark, is just to show you the technique itself. These are all very easy to understand, and these are things that you can actually start working on or practicing anytime you want by themselves. Because when you see the whole composition together, it can be a little daunting. I know it can, I know. But it's just a matter of perspective and how you actually look at it. If you take it step by step, like we are doing right now, it's something that seems to be a lot more doable. So you get the point, right? You get the point. So we're a little over 8 minutes, so I want to show you something else before we stop with this video. So this is basically what I want to show you here. I want to show you that it's a process that takes time to create that type of texture that we like so much in portraits. I'm just going to clean with a clean brush. I will clean all this marks from there. And just be patient with yourself, be patient with the portrait, and the more detail that you add, the better it's going to look. And one last thing I want to show is, you remember this? This is the other tool we're going to use today, not very much, but for creating texture. So if you really want to go for a 3D effect, we are going to do just a few areas. Always make sure they're right by the white ones, because that's what helps with the realistic look. Not very many, Sometimes when it comes to portraiture, like less is more. But just a few here and there that are going to make it darker. Now you might not be able really to see the difference that it makes, but this is something that as you add lights and darks with the texture, it helps with the 3D effect. It makes it less flat. And then if you look at it from far away, you're like, oh, yeah, I can actually, not only I see that he had, the shape of the pores, but I can see that they are there. Like, no, that's what I meant to mean. What I meant to say was, not only I can see the pores and the texture of the skin, but I can see the shape that all those like little, texture things have. And they're like scattered everywhere. Again, like I said, I'm also following the reference picture here. So nothing is just random. Remember, we are going for a realistic look. Observation is very important. Okay. All right, guys. And here, I'm glad that this happened because here you see that they're kind of like too much. Look at this. Like if you add a little bit of white, suddenly it starts to become a little bit better, like not like randomly a dark thing that you don't know where it's coming from. I don't know if you can actually get to see it, but when this part is finished, you're going to get to see it. So it's all part of like a symphony, really. It really is. Okay, guys, I hope this was helpful. And please do let me know if you have questions or comments or anything you'd like me to clarify that wasn't very clear. And I will see you again in our next video. Hi everyone, I hope you really enjoy these videos, and don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it and you learned from it, and don't forget to leave your questions and comments down below. That helps me a lot to get new ideas of new tutorials and the type of things that you found useful and other things in order for me to create more videos out of that. So thank you very much, and I hope to see you in my next video.